What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy ABK. Thank you for checking out another one of my weekly Forex and cryptocurrency analysis. I really do appreciate it. And you guys know how I do before I go on check out on the charts. I like to go over to Forex Factory and check out any news events that are going to be happening throughout the week. And as we can see right here, I'm only looking at red folders because I only like looking at the high impact news. I am not a fundamental trader. I am a technical analysis trader. So I just like knowing when there is going to be high impact news. And that's when I would be looking at my trading and all that stuff, right? So Monday, we have RBA rate statements for the Australian dollar at 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that'll be tomorrow. Tuesday, no news. Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, we have Canadian dollar rate statements. And 10 a.m., we have GDP monetary policy report hearings. And we also have Canadian dollar press conference for the BOC. So you might want to watch for that. I think it might be in relation to the rate statement. Thursday, 6:45 a.m., we have the Euro news, which is monetary policy statement. 7:30 a.m., Euro ECB press conference, and 11 a.m., Canadian dollar BOC Governor Macklin speaks. And then Friday, we have Canadian dollar. We just have a lot of Canadian dollar news this week. I don't really trade Canadian dollar pairs, but I think I'm going to actually include one in my I don't like UCAD. First and foremost, I'm not ever going to be looking at a UCAD, but I think I'm going to try to find a Canadian dollar pair that I want to trade. You know, it's funny that I live in Canada, but I don't even trade any Canadian dollar pairs, right? And then so at 7:30 a.m. Canadian dollar, that's when like basically their NFP is employment change and unemployment rate. So be watching for that for the Canadian dollars this week. All right, let's go on over to the charts. Go ahead and take a look at the DXY real quick. So first and foremost, so this is what the weekly candle looks like. It's just looks like a Barbosa candle with some wicks to the top and the bottom side. It looks like this may continue falling, right? We were talking about how price was respecting this like rising wedge and how it rejected here, it fell, and then it continued to fall. So now it's rejecting this bottom part of this wedge. So right now, what I want to see is price going to reject off of here and then continue going bullish, or is it gonna break, like do something like a break, retest, and then continuation type of move, you know, to the downside? I want to see what the DXY is gonna do, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was in some swings last week, and the US dollar was just beating my ass once it got over here. So it's 1%. So, as you guys can see, I already have a fib drawn out from this low of 91.822 to the high of 93.750, and price is already like obliterated past through the buy box, right? So right now I'm just looking to see, okay, this rising wedge, what's really going to happen? Is price really going to push to the upside from here and possibly do something like this? Because I feel like this is going to, I've just based off of how it sold off down here, it sold off pretty fast. At this point, I think the price might be continuing to the downside, quite honestly. That's just my what I'm seeing for now. Although technically speaking, from this swing, even if we were in this buy, price would not have hit like any type of stop loss, or it wouldn't have shown that this is incorrect. But like I said, just based off how it fell so fast. But we could see over here, same thing, price fell pretty fast and then bounced back and then pushed even higher. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens, but I am still, as long as price is holding here, and I like how price didn't close like under or didn't get it closed down here at 91.947. I'm still kind of bullish on the DXY until it breaks these lows right here, quite honestly. If DXY really does come down to these lows, because I mean at this point I see this right here and I'm just like, okay, price could literally just come and grab some liquidity down here or something, you know, and then fake out, push to the outside, retest, continue. That's not what I'm looking for though, right? In my head, I'm just like, all right, if the DXY truly does break like right here, then I'll start to be like, okay, yeah, you're gonna most likely go bearish, right? So until that happens, I'm still pretty optimistic on these buys. I'm just not, like, the price action is definitely not appealing though, for sure. let's get that straight. The price action is not appealing for this. It looks like this head and shoulders that might have happened right here is what played out. It's interesting. But yeah, let's see what happens overall. Like, I just really want to see what's going on. But it looks like this fake out to the upside that I had previously, that I was mentioning. I don't know why it's not showing on the daily time frame. That's so funny. It's literally only showing on the 4 hour. But yeah, like, I feel like that's exactly what this might have been. And at this point, I'm still holding on to this bid, this buy box right here. But I'm also going to be watching now. Okay, let's say now price does start to retrace. What's going to happen when price gets over to like 93.200? Is it going to indeed like fall from there, or what's going to be the business, right? So I'm just going to be watching out for what the DXY is going to do. I was in an AD USD swing that hit my stop loss, and I'll be talking about that. And I'm still in a Euro USD sell, but I'm in drawdown on that as well. But you know, like I mentioned yesterday, last week, it's NFP. I wasn't really concentrated on trading that much, but this week I'm gonna come in with the fire. All right, so weekly time frame. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, so DXY on the weekly time frame still very much bullish. It's rejecting off of this compass line right here, so it could easily just bounce up from right here, continue going bullish. I still do feel like this is going to go bullish. You know, it could easily just come and retest the RSI line and then push to the upside some more. So even if it does fall and breaks through these equal lows right here, again, I feel like it could just do that as a, just like I said in the beginning, where I had this over here, where price could just literally just drop down, push back up, retest, continuation. It could do something like that very easily as well. But as of right now, I wouldn't try to get into anything, quite honestly, with the DXY when it comes to any type of buys. I mean, I know that there's some people that will buy with this, like, a little bit, oh, there's a trend line right here. Price is respecting this trend line. We can probably see the push, the DXY push to the upside, right? Which is the only thing I'm afraid of, because I know that a lot of retail traders might be looking at it that way. So, and hey, we could be right here, because again, I am currently in a Euro USD sell. So me seeing the DXY still selling like this, I like how it's rejecting off of the mean line. I need it to reject and keep going right here. If it goes any lower, it's gonna be like going to 91.247 or even 91.522, quite honestly. 4 hour time frame, it's trying to set up for a buy. It called for a sell right here. This sell played out nicely. Hey man, RB's been hitting, except for this, RB's been doing some work on the 4 hours lately. I've been noticing that. And then this 1 hour time frame is setting up for a buy for sure. So what I'm really going to be watching for, I want to see when this calls for a buy, and then I'll probably try to get into another entry on my Euro USD sell, to be quite honest with you. So long, once per bar close, I'm going to create that. And so going over to Euro USD. So yeah, I am still in this sell. And you know, it's funny. I actually, my phone, that I don't know how many people will follow me on Instagram. And if you don't, at ABK25, go follow me. But yeah, I had lost my phone. And that was where my, hold on. It's coding shit. That was where my, I had my MT4, my MT5 downloaded, right? And so everything got deleted off of it. And I'm like, dang, now I gotta go look at these. Now I gotta go look up these account information on my email and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not even gonna pay attention to it. I'm gonna let these play out, because if I would have seen this, I would have gone out the trade early, quite honestly. And you know, I think it probably is gonna get hit, but I'm still in this trade. I'm not even going to take a look at my MT4, quite honestly. But all I can see at this point, again, same thing with DXY. Let me make this into regular. Is equal highs getting ran through. feel like I'm foreseeing my own loss that I'm in right now, you know, and that's totally fine to do. It's good as a stop out, breakout, retest, continuation to the downside. That can very much be what's gonna this is most likely what's gonna happen in my eyes, what I'm seeing right now, right? Although I do see a whole bunch of retracing that Euro USD looks like it might need to do, right? Because let me just go ahead and get rid of this, all that. I'm going to redraw those because at this point, that's kind of what I'm kind of seeing. That might not even be the case, because again, there's all this trading that's gone down like this. There's a supply zone right here that price just literally fell from the sky from, right? And then it's just been making lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Broke this lower high and it's made a bullish move, right? And this is all going down at a very hardcore demand zone, like, or just resistance, support, if you will, because that's what price is at right now, you know? So for this to really break, it is gonna either A, hold right here where price is currently at, or B, and I was talking about this like how many weeks ago, but I didn't even think it was gonna happen anymore, or B, price is gonna come up to like the 61.8 or the 78.6 at 1.21388 or something like that, and then fall. Which, you know, I'm not totally against it, you know, but I just wanted to see like, okay, prices came down to at this demand zone multiple times, let it keep falling, because there's so much trading that has gone down right here that I would like price to come back to it and then go bullish once again, right? If that makes sense. So overall, yeah, this doesn't look like a good move for me. The daily time frame, it does look appealing. I do like how that daily candlestick closed. That could be like, okay, price is just chilling there, but as well, like again, I just see like this equal highs can get possibly ran through, or price couldn't just, you know, I'm not feeling this out. Like I should have looked at the bigger picture much more, because I could have seen that, yes, even though price is making lower highs and lower lows on the higher time frames, if it breaks through this, then like the trend is broken, in my opinion. Although this was the lower high and the lower low, so I should have seen that through here. But you know, gonna wait and see what Euro USD looking like. I'm gonna still be in this trade, but I do know the possibility of me getting stopped out does exist, right? Weekly time frame, going over to EU weekly time frame and weekly time frame, it is still calling for that sell. Again, it could just be coming up to retest this trend line, this RSI line, which will be solid. But I am still bearish on EU until proven otherwise, right? Daily time frame though, it did call for a buy, and it is rejecting off of this. It is rejecting off of this mean line right here, right? So if price does stop, it's going to stop right here. But if it continues, then again, it's most likely just going to come up to like 1.19763 or something like that before it starts to slow down once again. And you can see that that is literally where another zone's at. So, I mean, you can see right there, right there, right there. So, again, we're going to see what EU and DXY is doing. That's like my main focus, because I'm in those trades. 4 hour time frame looks like it's setting up, but it's nowhere near quite ready yet. It's still at the second deviation, so it's nowhere near quite ready. And the 1 hour time frame does seem like it's setting up for a buy. So I'm gonna wait for that DXY alert, because once the DXY gives me that alert, then that means EU is doing the exact opposite. Well, not the exact, but the opposite, right? So we'll see what goes on over there. AED USD. Like I said, I was in this trade, and I talked about how I wanted to get in at the 71%. I got in right there, and price did not give me any hesitation. 2 days later, I was at a stop loss. Is that, bro? That is annoying me. No cap. Like I just hear this like rumbling from outside, I think, or something like that. It might be my neighbors or something. I don't know. But anyways, AUD USD. Overall, again, like, and this is these equal highs that I keep mentioning about, like, yo, right here, price can just go to these equal highs, stop you out, break, fall down, retest, and they continue falling, right? So I'm going to keep my eye on AUD USD. I took this L, it was a 1% trade, took it to the chin. And, you know, there's so much more that price can really retrace and go up higher to. Like, you know, who knows? Maybe it's doing something like this from this fall, from that wick that it did, and it's falling, right? It could stop right here in this area. Let me first of all change this real quick. Right? Like, it could literally be stopping right here at the 71%. However, the way how price went bullish and came up like that, and it broke in this lower high, so this could be a potential trend change. So what I'm kind of looking at for AUD USD is seeing if it's going to do this, because I'm not so certain that this is going to keep going bearish. And especially I had mentioned this on like another fib that I have drawn out, I think. Let me see. Is it this one? Yes. So right here we can see that price was at the 71% from this low to this high. It came and bounced off that 71%, and look where it's at right now. It's like at that point, if I would have gone into the buy, I would have said, okay, I'm hitting my stop loss at break even, right? So that's the reason why I was talking about, if you're getting into a trade, it's always good to know why you would lose the trade, and looking at it from a wider point of view. I mean, a larger point of view, because again, I mapped this out from this low to this high, and I'm like, yo, this fib can get respected and then push to the upside, and that's exactly what it's looking like it's doing, especially with the speed. Like, look at the speed that the price is just going bullish at. It's not even looking like it wants to turn around and stop. The volume isn't there, but you know, sometimes looking at that volume, it's not going to give you the full picture, or it's not going to give you the full details. But volume is fire. Do not sleep on volume, because on the lower time frames, hold on, let me move this up the way. On the lower time frames, probably down here, you would have seen where there was like big volume picking up or something. No, not even. Never mind, I take that back. Yeah, never mind, I take that back. Sometimes volume just don't be, it isn't the be all, the ends all be all, you know what I'm saying? So overall, I want to see what AU is going to do right here. I do expect there to be some type of resistance here for a price to potentially bounce back down to like zero, like I said, like right here at 0.72217. That looks pretty solid for a continuation to the upside, because this looks like price is going to go bullish just based off of that weekly fib, because I think that was actually a weekly fib, not even a daily fib. Yeah, there's no way I got this off the daily. I got this definitely off the weekly time frame. So, and off of 2 weeks, just 2 bullish engulfing candles. Well, not 2 bullish engulfing, 2 Mariposa candles, just like off back to back. So yeah, this looks like it's probably going to keep going bullish, quite honestly. So what I would want to see at this point is, if price is going to stop here, I needed to retrace and come down to 0.72119 or something like that, and then continue to the upside, right? That's why I like that 23.6% fib, because that's usually going to be at a point where price could potentially start to turn around. That's just what I stay saying. And so yeah, I want to see what AUD USD is looking like, depending on if the DXY is going to go indeed bearish, which it looks like it's going to do. I'm going to watch this. So I'm going to go ahead and set an alert down at 0.72119. Let me do something real quick. And I'm going to see what AUD USD is going to bring. It's going over to weekly time frame. So AUD USD is still bearish, but it's basically, I mean, if it was me and I had gone into a sell right here or something like that, or a sell right here where price really did retest this RSI line, once price gets over here, I'm taking my profits. I'm just keeping it a buck. Like, that's just me. I'm not gonna wait for price to just give me how many more pips, because at that point it's like, okay, well, you're being greedy, because price was right here and you only had 20 more pips and you've already gained how many pips? Like 400, 500 plus? Yeah, you're being greedy at that point if you don't take profits right there, in my opinion. Especially on the weekly time frame, that's like position trade status. Nah, bro, come on. Daily time frame still hasn't called for the buy. This is another example why I would still need the retracement for me to get into anything, regardless. But I wouldn't take an arbitrage buy. It would have to be something like this, unless I blatantly see that when price gets over to like 0.73286 or 0.2900, that price is not going anywhere, then I would get into a buy. But other than that, I'm still looking for the 0.72100. 4-hour time frame, these are all going to be bullish, so there's no point in even looking at them. Yeah, everything's bullish. So that's what I have for AUD USD. Going over to UCHF. Right. So for UCHF, I was talking about how I wanted to wait for a resistance fail before I try to get into any type of buy or any type of trade opportunity. And I'm glad I waited for it, because I didn't get into this trade at all, because the resistance fail would have failed and it would have just been a price coming up and knocking on the resistance and then it's falling, which, I mean, for those who sell off of resistance support, boom, you got a trade right there. I mean, and again, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with selling off of support and resistance. It's just a matter of risk. That's just all that it comes down to, in my opinion, right? So, but anyways, regardless of all that, UCHF, man, UCHF came back down. Okay, so just from this high, I don't want to do this from this high because it looks like price almost came and hit that stop loss. So I'd rather just do from this low. Although yes, price retraced to coming back to these highs, right? It did that. It came at 78.6, 71%, 61.8, all got hit. I'm pretty sure there's people who looked at that pair like that and they try to get buy opportunities there, and that was a good play. But however, I'm just looking at this like, okay, price needs to break out of one of these zones. I mean, one of these two areas before I try to trade it. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So right now, price is just in a range, up, down, back up, back down. So unless price goes bullish, which is kind of the way how I look at it, it's gonna be, then I'm just staying out of UCHF for now. What was that? There you go. Yeah, I'm just staying out of this for now because I mean this extends all the way over to here. So it started from here, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. People, and to me, I mean, some, I don't know why, but there's some people that say that you can't make money off of this pair. I'm like, what do you mean? This is a buying spot, buying, selling. Just have a certain stop loss or don't risk a lot of money on them and you'll be fine. So that's UCHF. I'm waiting to see what happens here. 1 hour time frame on UCHF is potentially calling for a buy, but again, it's a consolidating market and I don't like trading on any type of time frame on arbitrage when the markets are consolidating or in a range. Same thing with the 4 hour. It's ranging. Don't want to try to trade that. They call for the sell though. And daily time frame, same thing. It's kind of ranging. It kind of looks like a bullish flag to me. Like this right here, it kind of looks like a bullish flag, although it just came from a sell-off. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see what UCHF is going to do. I'm not really going to necessarily try to play on it until I get a clearer picture, right? S&P, it's just been consolidating. If you've been trying to trade this, I feel bad for you. Not really. I don't feel bad for anybody. No, let me not say that. I do feel bad for some, but I don't feel bad for anybody trying to trade these because, I mean, it's just in a range. And at this point, I would just need for it to break out to one side. I mean, I'd rather prefer at this point, I'd rather prefer just like the S&P for it to probably drop down to 4,491 before climbing back up to like 4,000, not back up, before climbing to 4,600. There is no coming back to on the S&P. That's what I'm looking at personally, especially since it's consolidating like this. It might even drop lower than 4,491, but that's just what I'm seeing. Other than that, yeah, this thing is just to the moon. S&P pisses me off. Oh man, yeah, this looks like it's gonna fall though, especially with like how it's just been consolidating. When price consolidates like that, it usually ends up dropping off before pushing to the upside. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Dow Jones. I'm not really paying attention to these pairs like that. Same thing here. Like, I would wait for a resistance fail before trying to get into a buy on these indices, or just wait for them to retrace, like down to 34.886 or something like that. I don't know, but not my cup of tea. And if I go into arbitrage, it's going to go show me on the daily time frame how they're both still bullish. On the 4-hour time frame, they might be setting up for sells, like I mentioned. Dow Jones, S&P isn't quite there yet, and the 1 hour definitely is, yeah, bearish. So yeah, let's see what happens here. But I'm definitely more interested in price dropping a little bit before going bullish again, like on Wednesday or Thursday, like how it usually does. USDMXN, it's been bearish again. I could have gone into a trade right here, but didn't do that. All I could really say about USD Mexican pesos is that if you want to buy, question mark, don't do it. I wouldn't, especially with how bearish this thing has been. It just looks like it's going to keep falling to make lower lows. You could try to buy at this resistance. I wouldn't personally, but that's just, like, again, that's just my personal opinion. Right here. Yeah, you could argue and say that this is respecting this trend line from these lows right here. It has been respecting that trend line, so you can argue and say that it's respecting it. But again, just be careful if you're going to try to buy it. This doesn't look like a buying market to me. It looks like it's in a major sell. 1 hour time frame is calling for a sell, or has been calling for a sell. 4 hour from here, never got the retracement. Dang it. Daily time frame, it's way under the RSI line. Hit the, okay, so it's come over here and hit this lower danger zone, right, and left the wick right there. That's showing me, okay, possibly it could reject here and go bullish, just like how I said, it could possibly respect that trend line, right? If that happens, then by all means, I mean, same thing here. Price has been rejecting off of this like lower danger zone for so long that trying to buy it is not necessarily a bad thing. So, you know, let's see what really goes down with USD Mexican, but a little too risky for me to try to sell it. I mean, to try to buy it or anything like that, you know? All right. Goldilocks, everybody's favorite. Everybody's favorite Goldilocks. Oh man, so it was a boring week for gold, wasn't it? It was just consolidating. I still feel the same way. 1847 is about to get hit unless price is gonna hold at this like minor resistance. But other than that, I definitely do think that price is going to go like to 1847. Still have my alert set, still waiting for that play to happen and waiting to see what gold is going to bring for me then and there, right? But it was just a consolidating week last week, basically, for gold. So, yeah, let's see what goes down with gold. I don't really have much to say about it. Let's take a look at RB. On the weekly time frame, it was all bullish. Daily time frame over here, it was bullish, but again, I would not have gone into something like right here. Maybe over here I would have, but not here. 4 hour time frame and call for the buy. it just gone bullish after that. Like, you know, it's just going bullish. It's just doing its thing. But that consolidating is what would have annoyed me overall with gold. I would not have been trading gold if it was consolidating like that, honestly. I would have been scalping it, if anything. All right, let's take a look at these cryptocurrencies. Ooh, y'all know what time it is. All right, so like Payne had mentioned, both of his targets of 3,600 and 50,000 on Bitcoin have been hit. Very nice, very nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get the buy opportunity for that we wanted for price to come down a little lower. Even if it would have came down to 61.8, I feel like I would have gone in there, but it barely missed, right? So price ended up going bullish. It is what it is. It ended up doing what I wanted it to do regardless. It just fell and pushed up. It just didn't go as low as I wanted it to, right? So price is slowly approaching this demand zone. I know Ethereum, I'm even gonna go look at Ethereum and talk about it, because Ethereum has blown past its supply zone, and it looks like it's really about to it looks like it's about to go to the moon and like make higher highs. Honestly speaking, that's what it looks like. Don't look at the volume, because if you look at volume, then it's gonna fool you. That's another thing I was mentioning. That's why I've been talking about like for the whole time. But yeah, Ethereum looks like it's gonna literally make higher highs. So if you are the lucky few who had gotten in at this 1740 pricing, or if you would have just, you know, just free game, just grab a fib at these lows, take it to these highs, have these three targets, and one of them hit, like, boom, like you making money right now, no cap. But yeah, I love this weekly candle, how it's about to close. 5 more hours, 15 minutes. I highly believe that it's going to close right over here. It even went higher than this candle whenever Ethereum, like back in May when Ethereum got up here. So I mean, there is definitely hype in the market for sure. Just want everybody to be careful and don't try to buy at these highs unless you really are down to try to do that. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Fear and greed index. Let's take a look at what it's looking like. I'm pretty sure the greed is pretty high. Oh, it's not even that high. Look at that. You see, it's at the 73, so that's not terrible. So I have a feeling that it's not even a bad time. I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't personally try to get into any margin. Well, not margin, but like any, like going to exchange and buying some cryptocurrency. I wouldn't suggest doing that right now. If you would have done that, the time is definitely past. You should have did that like back down over here or something like that, rather than up here. But yeah, man, like this looks like it's going to the moon in my honest opinion. Everything on arbitrage, I promise you, is bullish, except for maybe like on the 1 hour time frame, but that's irrelevant. But yeah, Bitcoin, same thing over here. Or this is Ripple. What am I doing? Bitcoin is coming up to the supply zone. I'm watching what it's gonna do. I'm really skeptical because overall the Bitcoin dominance is still at 41%. It is at these lows, and this is the Bitcoin dominance. Like how much percent of the market for the cryptocurrency is being like is influenced by Bitcoin, right? And so and so it's still like looking like it wants to go lower, but it's still at a whopping 40%. So it's a little less than half of the cryptocurrency market that Bitcoin still has dominance over, whereas Ethereum has 19.97%, or basically like 20%, and it still hasn't broken above these highs that is made this year. This is all like in May, June. So it hasn't broken through these highs quite yet, right? But I feel like if Ethereum really does hit that like 21-22% dominance, then that would help a lot of the other cryptocurrencies continue going bullish as well, right? But overall, Bitcoin still has the dominance, and I'm still watching for the supply zone right here. I am still very skeptical about it. And just like I always said, I'm pretty sure everything on Bitcoin and all the other Ripple and Ethereum, they're all bullish. I'm pretty certain. Yeah, everything's bullish right now. Weekly time frame on Bitcoin, however, this is the only one that's still calling for sells. But again, I said like it takes a couple of weeks before it'll actually even give that sell. So maybe it might might be up here at like 54,000. That's when it calls for a buy or something like that, you know. But let's see what happens. Let's go on over to Ripple. And you know, Ripple, same thing. It's just been like, again, it bounced off of that buy box again, went bullish, like there for a reason. I still feel like it's gonna go bullish. And I still want to see price come up to $1.50 before, or like just in this supply box in general, before seeing what's going to happen, what's going to be the next step in Ripple, right? But again, I'm not gonna, I mean, Ripple, let me see, from where it's at now to this year's all-time high, or this year's high, is about a 52% gain. That's not bad. That's not terrible at all. But again, just like how I mentioned, if you wanted to like get in on Ripple and try to make like really good money on it, you would have wanted to get in down here, because you would have made 127% if you bought at 57 cents, or even if you would have bought at like these 70 cents, 75 cents that I was mentioning, you would be up like 82%. And coming back to these highs, then you're going to be up like a whopping 180%, right? So the time to try to get into these, although right here you won't get bad returns, but it's not the greatest return. You're not going to get the greatest returns. And if price ends up just dropping back down, then it's going to be, you're going to, instead of making the 52% profit that you wanted for price coming back up to $1.96, you'd be down. Something like that, you know. But patience is the game with these cryptos. That's the thing. Patience is the game. Have them in a holding, invest in them, and hold them. Like again, even at $1.30 in retrospect, these are amazing. These are great prices, because in the next 4 or 5 years, who knows what these cryptos are gonna look like, man. I expect these cryptos in 5 years to have a lot more influence than what they have today. So yeah, that's just it. Let's see what Ethereum is gonna do, man. I really want to see. I would really love to see 4,500 get hit next week. No cap. All right, going on over to GBP USD. So I had talked about this trade last week, and I said, hey, this looks like a potential head and shoulders trade. Before I even go into GBP USD, right? This was a potential head and shoulders trade, and it's also at a zone where I like for a potential sell. However, and this didn't play out obviously. However, there's this zone that I had drawn. There's this alert that I had set over here at 1.38785, which is the retracement from the low of 1.3600 basically to 1.39900, right? And then as you can see, it lines up with my 71%. That's was what I was saying last week, and I was like, oh, I don't want to try to get into the sell down here, because if I do, my stop loss is literally going to be where my next entry would be at. And so I'm glad I didn't get into that. I'm glad I was being patient, and I'm going to try to get into this swing sell, because I do like the idea of trying to sell GU for at least a little bit for a retracement. But again, it's all depending on what the DXY is going to do, because if the DXY is going to keep going bearish, this is going to keep going bullish. I want to actually take a look at the BXY. I don't take a look at it quite often. Going to the weekly time frame, I'm going to put Renko candles on. I'm going to put high connection candles on, and I want to see what this looks like. All right, so been bullish. I don't know, when's the last time I looked at this? Holding at this main weekly support right here at this point. If price holds up here, then all I can think about is going bullish. But I mean, I'm still feeling very much that GBUSD or the GPs might be going bearish overall, right? I mean, if I'm going from like just what I would usually look at on a regular basis, it's the same thing with the BXY, with what GPUSD looks like. From this high to this low, it just bounced off with the 71%. I expect it to fall. Let's see what really happens, you know? I guess, again, I don't really careful looking at the BXY like that. What's that? On the weekly time frame, it's retesting the RSI line. That's actually pretty trippy right there, to be quite honest with you. So I want to see what GPUSD and the other GPs are going to do, but I am definitely expecting sells on them. And same thing here, guys. I mean, if you go on to the weekly arbitrage, I've been saying the same thing. I'm like, yo, I want price to come over here. I'm probably actually going to get into this position trade, quite honestly. This actually doesn't look bad to get into a... I might play this for a position trade. $208 pips for... Actually, I can make some money off of this for sure. This is my setup right here on a weekly time frame at that. Like, have this run for just like a couple months. I wonder how much the commission would be, but I mean, if you're trading with low lots, then you can position trade and not be worried about it on your live account, like dead ass. And is rejecting off of that mean line. It hasn't called for a buy yet on the daily time frame. 4 hour, I'm pretty sure it's over here at the upper. Yeah, I'm definitely all green on GU. Like, this is probably the best like Forex pair that I've gone over like all day for me to actually get into something. So yeah, GU, once that market opens up, I'm about to get up in there. I'm about to try. I really want to see if we can get price back up at 1.38785. But just based off of this technical analysis and also the fact that arbitrage on the weekly time frame had called for a sell and I've been waiting for this retest, yeah, I'm about to, it's a double whammy. Like, both confirmations are there for me already, you know? So waiting for the market to open up and I'm about to sell this thing. Yeah, this is probably going to take like maybe 2 or 3 months. Like, just if you have a dedicated account where you like position trade, put that in that account, leave it alone, don't look at it until like price gets down to like 1.33700, and if it hits your stop loss, well, there it is there. Just imagine if you trade like a 0.01 or something and you're risking 208 pips, you're gonna lose $200. Not that much money, right? So going over to GBP AUD, GA is one of the most confusing pairs to me because, again, I feel like this is more dominated by the Australian dollar rather than the GBPs. This is why I say such. What do you guys notice anything between this and AUD USD? You see how this is bearish? What was AUD USD like? It was bullish, right? I'm going to go ahead and get the compare to them, and I'm going to get AUD USD. Same percentage scale, new price scale, new pain. No, I want this, right? You see how, I mean, let me get this in candlestick form too. Candles. You see how when GBP AUD is falling, AUD USD is rising, and you see how it's just inverse versus, let me get rid of this. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep it. Then I'm gonna have, like, let's just have the likes of the BXY, right? Versus the BXY, it has some kind of influence, but the influence isn't as much as when it comes to the AUD USD, right? Let me get this in candlesticks again. You see what I'm saying? Like, it does show that, yes, it was going bullish right here. But again, it's the inverse of what was happening with the AUD USD. So that's why I'm like, I really do have a strong feeling that AUD USD has more of a inverse for GA rather than the GBP itself, right? So if AUD USD is gonna go bullish, then I think that GA might go bearish. However, from this low to this high, I do know that this is a possible place where price can turn around. Just like how on with AUD USD, I feel like this could be a place where price can turn around and go bullish, right? It's the exact opposite. It's kind of funny how it looks like that, right? So price could indeed reject here and go bullish up to like 1.89414 and then fall again, or it could just keep falling. You know, I'm really waiting to see what this is what's gonna happen here. But I'm not really focused on trading. I'd rather just trade AU to USD rather than try to trade GA and AU to USD. But personally speaking, I think that there can be buys placed here, and like taking price up to at least 1.89540 or something like that, you know? Because ultimately, I kind of feel like this is what's gonna happen, where the high is waiting for the retracement, 1.89725, and then a continuation to the downside, you know? So that's kind of what I'm looking at overall for GA. It's going over to arbitrage. I know it's pretty bearish right now. Weekly time frame, I call for that buy. It played out. Dang, man, you don't get plays like this often. So that went straight up. Like this took from this buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 months basically. 3 months for a take profit. If I would have tried to take this trade or something like that, it would have been like right there. Stop loss down there. And then take profit over here. Yeah, like just imagine if you trade like the 0.01, you're risking 235 pips, $1 for 10 pips or something like that. You can make some good money off of this. Well, not good money, but you can make some decent money. You know, nothing too crazy. Just leave it alone or something like that. GA daily time frame is going for a sell, but again, I'm waiting for that retracement mostly before I would try to even get into a sell like that. Like that's what I would have to do on on a daily time frame. 4 hour, not even trying to set up for a buy, or the 1 hour, definitely again, not trying to set up for a buy or anything like that. Did you want to say something, Carlo? Or he hopped off. All right, well, never mind. GBP JPY, y'all know what it is. I had said the same thing. I actually want price to come up to 152.463. It's just like with GBP-JPY, right? So, I mean, with GBUSD. So, I want price to go up to like, it might reject right here off of 152.126 and then continue falling. It really could do that. And I won't be surprised if it does reject that 71%, because I mean, that's the reason why that's my fib, right? But 152.440, I feel like would be much more of a sniper move. And then taking that to make a lower low. Like I said, I feel like the GBPs are getting set up to fall, but that's just my opinion. They could definitely be like, nope, I'm getting ready to skyrocket actually after bouncing off of this supply right here. I mean, off of this support right here. So with that being said, I'm really interested to see what GJ is going to do. 1 hour time frame is calling for a buy right at the market close. I would not try to trade that. Don't pay attention to that. 4 hour time frame kind of setting up, but not really. Daily time frame, I would not try to get into this buy quite yet because it's not called yet. And the weekly time frame, I mean, weekly is not setting, it's set up, it's literally setting up for a sell. And that's what I feel like is going to happen once right here price holds off, just keep falling. So I'm watching for GJ for the sells right here, but again, I want 152.463 to get hit. And last but not least is going over to Euro GBP. Euro GBP, man. So it did indeed reject off of these highs, like I had mentioned it was going to do, and I wanted to retrace to the downside. I mean, and here's my thing, guys, right? Like I had mentioned about this sell, but I think that this is actually what's going to play out. I think I might have a fib for that. Nope, not that. Never mind, I don't have a fib for it. I do have a short position that I was in that might play out now. Like that thing's gonna mad play out. It stalked me out. That's rough. But no, on a serious note though, I do really feel like EG is gonna actually continue falling to the downside, because just like with all the other ones, hit the 71%. I just don't like that if GJ is gonna fall, then EG is gonna fall too. I can't look at it that way, but I can't argue with how it's just, it didn't come up to the 71%, but it almost did, and I can't not see that it fell, right? The only thing I'm really like I'm really hoping that it's going to happen at this point. This price is indeed just going to fall down to 0.85092 or 0.84952 and then go bullish, right? I want EG to go bullish, because if GPUSD and GJ are going to go bearish, I don't want there to be conflict of interest with that. Right, daily time frames called for the buy. It's been rejecting off of this upper danger zone right here, but I would still want it to keep going bullish. And at this point, kind of have to just wait for the weekly or something, because the 4 hour over here is just looking like, after consolidating a breakout to the downside, and the 1 hour time frame, same thing. It's just consolidating markets. So at this point, I'm not really a fan of trading EG, because it stalked me out, and it looks like it just stalked me out for no reason, and it's gonna keep falling right now. That's what it really looks like. So we'll see what happens with EG. But other than that, I am done with my analysis, y'all. So if anybody has any questions, y'all can hit me up on Telegram or on Instagram at ABK25. Don't forget to drop a like if you gain some value from this. Subscribe to the Trade the Next Wave, and I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Later.